My name is Greg Elliot. I reside in Bristol, Virginia. I found your channel on YouTube back when you built your comment and have been a subscriber ever since. Love your content. I once wrote in the comments, finally, a man with integrity, because you don't hold back. You tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. Truthfully and honestly, your videos have helped me a tremendous amount, both financially and educationally. And I thank you for that, sir. I hope this letter is readable, as I am a 73-year-old Vietnam-era USAF veteran, liver cancer survivor with a broken back. And I cannot hear, I'm going blind with glaucoma, but by God's healing power, love and mercy, I am still here. And I thank Him for it. I'm truly blessed. My problem is, as a patriot, I cannot fly the nation's flag anymore due to a part failure. My flag is secured to the pole by rotating swivel rings. Enclosed is a template of said tangle-free, rotating-free ring. I'm in desperate need of this. Thickness is 1/8" material. You are my last hope, and I can't get any local machine shops to plasma cut them out for me, nor can I find them on the interweb with the correct size. Then I remembered you had the Eastwood printer, laser CNC plasma cutter. I realize you are extremely busy, but if you could find the time to cut me 4 to 6 of these rings, I would be so appreciative and grateful. Thank you, Greg Elliot. I want to help this guy out. He's offered to pay, but I told him I'm not going to let him pay. I want to see if, as viewers, if we can get enough views and shares. Clearly I'm monetized, that we can recoup the money off of your little donation of just watching this video all the way through, leaving a like and a comment, and I think that will be enough to help this gentleman out. I'm gonna send him his brackets out and get these made for him, and I greatly appreciate y'all watching this all the way to the end. Mr. Greg doesn't know is we're actually gonna send him like 6 of these. So I've just built that basically using his diagram right here, and I just free measured it myself. Now he sent us a drawing that we're now gonna use. Okay, we'll insert this as a canvas. So this is the picture that he literally sent me through text message. Okay, and I sent it to, I got it on the computer. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to come over here to the canvas and we are gonna calibrate it. Now he's got us an ID right here of 1 and 17/64. So we're gonna zoom in and nail his crosshairs right there. He's gotta be a pretty precise dude. I just got a feeling he is. So now it wants us to calibrate it, but I don't know what 1 and 17/64 is. So we're gonna come, you can just Google it over here, and we're gonna put it in on a conversion thing, 17/64, calculate. It's gonna be 0.266. So we're blinking down here, 1.266, enter. Okay, so it blew it up. So it's calibrated now. The picture is calibrated to keep us in scale. Now while we have that measurement, let's go ahead and draw a 1.266 circle. Okay, now our circle's a little bit off. So what we can do is move it and line it up where it looks off of his drawing really precise. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're laid over top of his lines. Now the OD he's got right here is 1/15/32. So we come over here, 15, 32, and we get a 1.469. We've got a center to snap to now, 1.469, baby. Bingo. So our circle, you can see right here, his black line and my blue line, they don't match perfectly at all. They get a little more precise when we get up here near his drawing, but this was freehand. And we heard what my guy's up against. So we're gonna just trust his measurements on here and use his template to kind of get us where we should be. So we're gonna hit our center of our circle with a straight line, and we're gonna come up here and we're gonna hit his target right here in the center. But I want to snap this, make sure this snaps at a 90. Okay. So now we have a point in the center of that. Now it says right here, gives us OD, but I'm not 100% on that because 1/64 is pretty much going to be the same size as one of these down here. So this circle right here across the top, this one can't be the 1/61/64, but he has 15/64 right here off of this line. So this center circle probably is going to be that. So let's go back to our calculator and do 15/64. Calculate 0.234. So we hit our center, 0.234, enter. And that looks pretty good. You can see right here my blue line. Okay, you can see how close my blue line is over his, the black line. So now we'll just freehand, we'll hit our center of our circle right here, and we will just freehand up to what looks right because the whole picture is calibrated. So it should be pretty accurate. And now we'll take us a line and pop off the side of the circle, hit a line on that circle, and then come over to this side and we'll snap one to that upper circle, snap one to this lower circle, and then we're going to use this tool right here which snaps the lines to the circle so they kill into it perfect. I don't remember the scientific term for that, but you see these little constraint symbols popping up. Okay, so now we've got it mapped over. Now I don't like to disturb my original thing, so I'll do a move copy. I'll copy it, I'll move it over. Okay, and now we're going to work over here where we can see. If we turn off all of our constraints and our dimensions, now we can see what we got, and we'll come through here and start busting some lines out of the way. We'll get our scissors out, we're going to blow out that, knock out this little line that I made right there, and there's the template that's based off of his drawing. So now what we'll do is we'll click this, and we're going to extrude it. And we're just going to do a 0.125 because I'm pretty sure that he wants it at an 1/8. It says right here, the material thickness is 1/8. So now we have our part extruded into a 3D diagram. So now we can go and design this. We'll go to manufacture. I meant manufacture, not design it. We just designed it. We're going to hit a new setup. Now we need to find the X, Y, and Z axis. So we got to go right here to the bottom corner, and that shows us X, Y, and Z because our plasma table does have a torch height control. So we do have the Z axis. Now we're going to come down here and click model. It's going to be the body because the body is what we're cutting. We're going to go to post process and we're going to label this. So this is going to be flagpole rings 2. Because these are going to be his measurements. Now we're going to set up the cutting profile. Pretty much all we got to do is select the body because I extruded it. So we don't have chains is what it's called basically. The computer can do it. We're always going to turn on smoothing. It's just going to help me out. And I found out that finishing overlap helps me out. So that's going to be 0.04. And then we're going to turn off the lead out. And we're going to change this to a 90-degree lead in. So this is how the plasma leads into the circle. And then this lead in distance right here, all right, it is currently 0.19 and a bunch of junk. We've got to toot this thing down to 0.10 because this is such a small part. This is very hard to cut with the plasma and not a water jet table. So we're gonna enter our tooling. I forgot to do that, so it automatically pulled it up as an 1/8" tooling, and we got the green check marks here. Now, if I would not have made them adjustments, these are our lead ins right here. So this is how it leads in. The lead in would have been longer than our circle and it wouldn't have gave it room to lead in. The lead in out here on the outside of the part doesn't matter because we've got everything in the world, and this lead in down here doesn't matter. But that lead in right there would have messed us up, so that's why we had to change the lead in. All we have to do now is just post process it. So it's already named there, post process, and she's done. Let's put it on the table. Now I'm very grateful to have this table moved to my house. It has helped a ton of being able to quickly and easily cut parts here at home. So we can get rid of these rain barrel brackets that we cut from my backyard that y'all didn't even get to see. And we're gonna go down to the flagpole, rings 1. And we're gonna cut these first. Now I do mine individually one at a time so that I can use scrap. It is perfect for situations like this where I'm trying to help somebody out and I don't want to have to go buy a whole entire piece of metal. So let's see what we got in here. I think this piece is an 1/8. Check it with a tape measure real fast and make sure it looks like it's an 1/8. It does. Okay, so this is going to be perfect because this is about out. Like there's not much meat on the bone left on this sheet. So now basically all we got to do is find some spots that all of these will fit in, and then we can let this thing rip tater chip. So we've got this thing way tooted up for cutting the rain barrel brackets. We're going to turn down our pierce times to 0.4 versus we had 1.5 on the rain barrel brackets. Our cut speed was at 35 for cutting that thick 1/4-inch plate. We're gonna go ahead and bump that cut speed up to, let's try 60. I think that should be good. Everything else should be set. I'm not gonna mess with the torch height adjustment. Let's see if we can let one rip and if it successfully cuts. Okay, so our part and his part, crazy close. I mean, it's very hard to tell precise off of a drawing, but man, I don't think you can get better than that. So let's go ahead and cut the rest. All right, so here's his measurement. Here's my measurements off of his template. Here's his template. Here's my first cut off of what measurements I think it should be. And then here's his measurements that he wrote on the diagram. So it all depends. It could be his measurements, and that's the thickness of the pen that traced it or whatnot, but I'm sending you both, buddy. Now I'm gonna clean these up real fast with the angle grinder to knock the slag off. Be careful with these because there's not a lot of material left on these. Water jet might be better to cut these than the plasma table. The plasma table cuts it a little bit of an angle when it cuts it, but we're trying to help you out, bud.